Perfect. Thanks, Shib. That's all I got for you.
Yes, sir. All right, going to go right down the line here. Right now we're going with timeless travel.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I just have a very quick question because in the community that I speak to a lot of people in crypto, their biggest thing with wanting or even moving into getting into Polar is what would incentivize them at this point to even get in. And I mirror their thing. I got in super early, and while that's great, now we need to know as a community what can we do without just sharing and saying, oh, I think this is going to be great. We need to know, have some tangibles that are going to create and incentivize people to come in.
Yeah, so I definitely agree with you there. Most of these node projects, they always start out with a bit of hype, of course. They're very high ROIs, just as R was initially. And then it kind of tapers down and the hype sort of sways a little bit from there. And at that point, we are just like everyone else, right? So a simple reward-based program is not going to be a long-term sustainable project, in my opinion. That kind of leads into what you're saying here. We need some action. So we have a lot of great things in development. Our tech guys are working very hard to get these live, including the staking, the bonding aspects. I'm personally working behind the scenes with some other stuff that I can't get into just yet. That'll be pretty new to the game of nodes if it does work out. We're all working to get some of these live. Now, like you said, that's all talk. So we need to really get working on making these happen. Get that treasury going. Get these behind the scenes projects out in the front, out live. And the first step to that's going to be that new contract. Right now, we don't even have a multi-node option. You have to create one at a time. I cannot market Polar to someone who's willing to drop 20 or 30,000 and node if they have to do one at a time. And I completely understand that. So all those things are going to start coming together here in the next, hopefully, week or so. Get that new contract live, start pushing it all forward. And that'll allow us to ultimately expand a bit more off of currently what we're doing. Again, the other aspect, what makes us a little bit different from everyone else is this Dano model is, once it's fully implemented, that's going to be what I believe to be the new standard. It takes the power out of just the main developers, especially with the treasury, and it brings it back to a community outreach. So it reduces the significant risk that a lot of these projects do ultimately have.
Okay, perfect. Because that's all I want to be able to know is that other people that keep coming to me and just asking, well, what are they planning on doing? And the what ifs are great. So as long as we keep having full communication, some transparency, I think that we can round this corner and get more people in. Thank you.
Yep, thank you. All right, here we go. Another one of our Discord friendly, and he's part of our little team here. So, Deegan Disorder, you're going to be up next when it connects here.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. How's it going?
What's up? Still at work, bro.
Oh, same old.
Just want to.
Yeah, just out here working.
As always, I just want to say I appreciate your work, bro.
Hey, I appreciate you guys for real. And I say that all the time. The community is everything for this project, and it's everything for me. I'm truly honored to be able to be in this position for you guys.
I think we're excited to have you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. You got any questions, or is that it? Just a shout out?
That's it, bro. I'm still at work, so I got to go. But yeah, just a shout out, bro.
Hey, I'll take that. I'll take that anyway. Talk to you later. All right, cool. Well, I'll take shout outs too. So as I'm waiting for more people to come up with some questions, there's some things that I want to address here directly as well. I had another one from an individual on Twitter on here. I don't know where he went, but he was basically asking questions that we need to answer here. So I'm going to go into it now. We all saw the Ring Association campaign, all that come through. So I'm going to just address it very directly, very bluntly. Polar Nodes has zero relation to the developers of Ring, to Ring of itself. The only connection that people, if you watch YouTube videos and all that stuff, was that they share the same, basically a network host, which regionally, that kind of makes sense. So from there was no other relation. I deal with these developers daily. They care about you guys. They care about working for this project. And they've given me so much reassurance, including this multi-sig treasury, to ensure that literally the developers cannot rug pull. They cannot, without a majority, vote to change the treasury. Then I've also got the question, well, what if they corrupt one or two people? Okay, that is a valid point. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but I saw with another project fairly recently, if there's a bad actor, we also have basically a no faith clause built into this project where we can vote out someone on the committee. And that's from the developer all the way down to whomever is the last person put in from the community. So there are some actions taking place. If we see a bad actor, we will push them out. We're all in this for the long run. In fact, they brought me on board here because there was some communication issues, and they elected to choose this way to resolve it. I'm glad that they did, but there's, it's going to be something that we fight every day for now. Hopefully we don't have to in the future, but hey, we're going to keep doing that battle. We have no association with Ring. We are not a rug pull. The developers care about you guys, and I care about you guys. So we're going to keep working for you. And here we go, Chris, you're the one that I was talking about. This is in reference to your question on Twitter, so I'm bringing you in. Chris, you just have to unmute your mic and then.
Oh, sorry, it cut off. Sorry about that. Yeah.
No worries.
Yeah, so thanks for addressing all that. I really appreciate it. And I know the tone, it's kind of hard to tell, online what it means. But, like when I started investing in it and I found out about it, so I guess early, and we're still in early stages, I was getting a message back from, a customer service that was scammed, or it seemed scandalous or whatever. And then I kept reading about the affiliation and whatnot. But, like you said, plow past that. I don't know if there's anything I missed from anything prior that, were some key points. I've been on about the last 5 minutes or 10 minutes or so that, we have to look forward to. I mean, the new interface came out really good. I liked it a lot. It's it's easy to use. The pricing's good right now. I think it's a great opportunity. Other than that, I know that I think I read something that they're going to be releasing different tiers, kind of like the other ones do, like on Thor and whatnot.
Yep. So the new tiers will be coming out here, hopefully within the next week or so, to be announced there. But I'm half tempted to give you guys the official number of tiers, but I don't know if I'm allowed to. I'm going to play through this and I'll see how I'm feeling towards the end, but maybe I'll break some news for you towards the end. So we have the new tiers coming up. We have some LP staking coming up. We have polar staking coming up. We have a polar lottery system coming up. Now, as one of the previous persons, asked me about, this is all ideas, right? So we need to start getting these into place. If we don't get them into place, it's all talk, and talk's going to do nothing for any of us. So we're going to work hard there. Hey, I appreciate you asking about the all the Ring stuff like that, and I understand it. So at any point in time, anyone's more than willing to hit me up. I've gone onto these Twitters, these videos, and reached out to the producers of this stuff and said, hey, come talk to me publicly or privately. You can DM me. We can do an AMA. If you bring me some evidence to show me this association, I will more than happy listen to it, because I'm not the developer. So it also benefits me if that's going on, right? Bring me evidence. We'll talk through it. We'll work through all pieces of it, and then we'll move forward from there. To this point, no one's taken me up on that offer, and I've offered it several times. So if anyone out there can bring us some evidence of Ring association or other form of corruption, hey, hit me up. My DMs are open, for better or worse. You got anything else, Chris, or are you good?
No, I'm good. I mean, like I said, at this point, it's just listening to anything that you have to say and what other people have to say. I'm new to nodes in general, but I would say is that is there anything as far as like the nodes themselves? I know percentages go toward the project to sustain itself, but is there anything on any of them? Because I'm new to that. I only have Thor and this. but like to where the actual node themselves carry any value besides just what they're producing you, or can they be sold, for something else or anything? Did I miss anything on that, or is anything like that even exist yet?
So there is some limited existence in that. UNIV has their tradable planets. I have some information about what Thor might be doing and what I might be doing with our project. So I'll say that we are looking very heavily into that. And I'm working with some people behind the scenes to bring some value base to the nodes themselves in the hopefully near future. But that's to be announced as well. That's things that I haven't even talked to the developers necessarily about yet, but I'm working on my end, and I think I could push some of these things forward here soon.
Awesome. Appreciate all your help, and thanks for taking the time out of your life to answer questions and whatnot. Greatly appreciated. Excited for the project and investing. So appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Appreciate you. All right. Next one here is going to be L4 KD4HN, but it's a Hive, lad. So you're always welcome in here. Give us a little shout out if you get a minute. Hey, how's it going? Can you hear me? I think your mic is muted still, bud.
Hello there. Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you just fine now. How are you doing?
Just fine. Happy to jump in and happy to be on the AMA.
Yes, sir. Happy to host it.
Nice. Well, first of all, thanks for everything you do. The Polar Express has been proving time and time again that you guys face challenges with the right attitude and that you know how to solve problems. And that's exactly what we want from a project. You guys have the right vision, the Dano model. I agree 100% with you. It's the way to go. So extremely happy to be aboard. Thanks for everything. And now, as to my questions, I'd like to touch on a few points that some of the guys raised again in the past. One of them regarding investments and the treasury. I agree with Tinderfoil that regards of transparency, having a Zapper link, a Zipper wallet, showing how the treasury is being invested is a really good way of showing transparency and actually raising awareness that the project is expanding into ways of generating revenue. This is, for example, one of the ways that the J protocol is doing, and this is proving to work to attract new investors. Also, what they are doing is that they are allocating part of their treasury for DeFi experts to constantly research the space onto which projects to invest further into. This might be also something to consider, because if the Dano is to live from those investments, then it might be worthwhile to have a team constantly researching and putting that think tank to work. You know what I mean?
I do agree. So basically like a treasury advisory kind of committee, which we have something like that currently, but we do need someone a little bit more full-time that's like, hey, let's get into these treasury things daily, searching through, the highs and lows of the internet from mainstream to the Reddit.
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
Next place to go.
Yeah, I think that would be worthwhile. And I mean, if we want to be the pioneers of the Dano model, we might want to do it right from the beginning and dedicate assets full time to do research and show to the investors that their money is well invested. And
yeah, I do.
Second point in regards to transparency, it all comes to the same point, right? Where the resources being put into, and where are the developers doing, and is people KYC'd and whatnot. And there is a union of transparency that is being founded at the moment by the Tor guys and the Vapor Node guys and the upcoming Hive Investments guys, that they all want to found from the ground up kind of a set of standards by which the DeFi community should adhere to, anti-rug measures, and a way of checking that the contracts and the protocols are secure for investors just to ape it in safely, and if there is a possibility to have a defend bot to have the price stabilize and only go up and no down, and so forth and so on. And this union, I think, would fit very well into the mindset of what Polar Nodes is talking about with the Dano model. Have you been informed about this? Are you in conversations already with the guys in the union on maybe joining in the short-term future?
So as of right now, I am very aware of the Union of Transparency, and I love what they do. So personally, I've been relatively heavily invested in Thor and Vapor and a lot of these other node projects out there, just on my personal level. Love what Loki does with his community. That's kind of how I want to portray myself to you guys as well, is be this main branch between the developers, the project, and the community. That way we get all the information very clearly and move forward. Now, as far as joining the Union of Transparency, that's something that, it's gonna. I'm sorry, there's a little bit of background noise. You mind just muting yourself just for
Absolutely.
a second? Apologize, man. Hey, appreciate it. So as far as joining the Union of Transparency, we do need to get some things situated on our end first. So getting this new contract out, getting our program live, and our project fully implemented is going to be key. So the full, 4.6 multi-sig still needs to get voted on, where we'll have multiple members of the community that have to verify every treasury action. We have to do some updates as far as the new contract goes, so I can market efficiently. Up until this point, I'm just building relationships. I'm contacting different people, contacting different community leaders, projects, influencers, say, hey, this is what we're doing. I'm not looking for anything right now. Come check us out. Ask me any questions. Building some rapport with people, because while I don't believe it's totally necessary for us to join the Union Transparency, I would love that connection. And if any of the people in here that talk with those people, hey, if they want to talk to me, they can hit me up anytime. I can do everything from text to phone call. I'm always working back here trying to bring more to the project. Other thing I want to do for security, which this is sort of the reason why the multi-sig vote for who's going to be on it is a little bit delayed, is the whole KYC process. I am more than willing to do that here today. I have no issues with it at all. What I would love to happen is to have a majority KYC on that multi-sig board. Now, where does that become a little complicated is we need to propose people to our community to vote on that board. So I need to make sure everyone's willing to also do that with us. I'm not going to force somebody to KYC or to be on the board, to be perfectly honest. But let's say with that 4-6, if we have a majority, or even three of the six, hopefully 4 out of the 6 majority KYC, then we know there's a good chance of good faith actors that are making that final decision that will not be overrun or overruled by any bad actor. And like I said, I have a fail-proof or a fail-safe in there anyway. If we see a bad actor, I don't care if it's a developer, I don't care who it is, how much work they've done. If I become a bad actor, I expect to be voted out, just as everyone else should. And then that'll remove control of them as well. So we have all these things in plan, and as I mentioned earlier, plans do nothing, words do nothing. So we need to start pushing forward at these, and I believe this AMA is a great step. This shows to me and to the developers what the community is asking, what they're looking for, and what we need to start working on.
It sounds very reasonable. Thanks a lot for that. Maybe one last question.
Sure.
What's the best thing that each and every one of us, members of the Polar Express, can do to organically contribute to the growth of the system?
Yeah, just shout us out. Reach out to us. We are a community-based project completely. So without the community, we are literally nothing. Shout us out. If they have questions, like I said, my DMs are open. I'm more than happy to talk with people. I'll talk with people on the phone. I talk with people over text, Discord, etc. So I'm here to answer questions. If you share some of the Polar stuff, just, hey, someone talks about nodes, like, hey, check out Polar when you got a minute. Go ask some questions in there. Do your own research, of course. And if you like what you see and you got a little bit of money you can invest into it, great. If you don't yet, come talk to us. I'm more than happy just to gain trust and comfort with the community. And then I think that'll allow us to grow organically from that point.
Cheers on that. That's all for me, man. Thanks for everything.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you. Oh, I believe that guy had I'm not going to go into that project. He had an emblem from a project that myself and I'm not going to go too much into all that. Let's see here. Next one is going to be Matt. I'm going to be inviting you in here in just a second. There you go. How's it going, Matt? Whenever you're ready, you can unmute your speaker.
Hey, what's up? Hope you're having a good evening tonight.
I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I only really had one question tonight. I was just wondering if the current node tier is going to be the only node tier, if there'll be bigger node tiers coming soon.
So this tier is not going to be the only node tier in the very near future. We have a new contract coming out, hopefully in the next week or so. Don't quote me on that, but I would like it to be sooner rather than later, to which we will have multiple tiers. Our current tier will be a middle tier. It'll still be the 55 polar. It's not going to change in rewards or price. There's going to be lower tier, higher tier, plural, singular. I don't know if I should release all that yet, but there are going to be a few different. I'll probably end up releasing that by the end of this AMA. But hey.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, if you have any rough ideas of what the larger tier size would be, that'd be greatly appreciated. But if not, that's no problem at all.
Yeah, so I do. I think I'm going to let them drop that news when they're ready for it.
Yeah,
But
that's perfect.
I'll throw this out for people that are listening. There was a lot of talk like, hey, this is going to be a middle tier, so that it has to be 3 tiers when we update. I'll just say it's not going to be 3 tiers, and it's not going to be 2 tiers or 1 tiers. So that's a little hint for people in the community. There's going to be a multiple tier. I guess you could say more than 3.
Oh, perfect. Appreciate the answers.
All right, hey, appreciate you, man.
Yeah, have a great night.
You as well. All right. Next one here will be Crypto Daily. Hey, Crypto Daily, you're live whenever you unmute your mic.
Hey man, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well, thank you.
Hey man, I appreciate you taking time of your day, to address all this stuff, building trust with the community. I've been on the project way before it even launched, and then been seeing through ups and downs, and finally we're in a good spot now where things are really looking good for the future. So I'm very excited to be a part of this project. And just a quick question. I'm a big fan of NFTs. I don't know if I missed earlier, you mentioned anything about NFTs. Is anything in the talks about NFTs?
Yes, I'll say yes to that. I'm currently working on something directly. I've had a couple conference kind of calls, so I can't give too much information on immediacy. NFTs are fairly new to the node space.
Yeah.
There are some projects that are currently working on them as well, whom I might be aware of. That is something I would love to see, is either an NFT based structure or some tradable node version of Polar, very similar to maybe Univ, something like that. I'm digging into all that stuff. It costs some upfront capital that I think I want the community to understand, and then we'll kind of piece that together from there.
Nice. Cool, man. I appreciate that. That's all I got.
All right, cool. I appreciate you.
Sir.
All right, hey, I'm going to get to you here in just a second. Enough rug, please. Love the name. I'm just going to do a quick shout out. There are so many members of our community team here that are working literally around the clock. I know I'm going to miss a bunch, but our lead developers, I'm just going to go by the Discord names. Our core team is Enor, Salty, Yanta, who's a French influencer, Piccolo, which Piccolo is a great shout out name for there. We have a tech guy by the name of Frey. We have some community rep, lead moderators, that are 3, and Tarkle. You've probably seen Tar in there putting down the band hammer when he needs to, controlling the chat with an iron fist. We have multiple members of the marketing team. Technically, I'm the community leader. Our head of marketing is Shillum. He's been doing incredible work. He's working with graphics. He's working with documents. He's really keeping the chat going as well. Other members of the Polar marketing is Galactic Hermit Crab, who has also been doing a ton of the document work. So if you guys haven't seen the Notion site yet, we got to post a link to that. Huge shout out there. Lots of great work behind the scenes. We also have Laser Shark in the marketing, just kind of helping with some things there. We have multiple assistants and advisors. I wish I could shout you all out right now, but I'd probably extend this AMA by another 20-30 minutes if I did. But just know, hey, we appreciate everyone that's been working hard behind the scenes here and in the front to create this project. All right, so I'm going to start taking questions again. Next one here is going to be from the great Enough Rug, please. All right, there you go. Once you unmute, you'll be live. Love the cat photo.
Hi. Hello.
How's it going?
Yeah. First of all, thank you for proving that you are not ring, and the other rug in BSC like the gold mine like that. So I'm very thankful for that. And I have a question right now that thinking of my mind. So may I ask it?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Yeah, you're good.
Yes. Do you have a plan to be in collab with the NFT right now? Because the NFT in Abax is truly blowing my mind. So, first of all, shout out for the Bagme and Pagme family. So, these NFT giveaway nodes for this, I think they are searching for a node to be giveaway. So if ever you had time to communicate from them, so do you have that plan in the future?
Sure. Whom exactly am I looking for? So I can write that
Like
down.
the node burst and the panda community. So the NFT, because they are investing with nodes actually.
Okay, yeah. So NFTs are hot, and I know that as well. And it seems like when the crypto market goes a little bear, NFTs go up the other way, which kind of makes sense. Correlation to mostly ETH decreasing in value, it creates more opportunity to get into the NFTs, and they rise in value. So it's a great little inflationary crypto aspect. Is kind of how I see it. Now, I would love to get into NFTs, and as I kind of mentioned earlier in the AMA, I'm digging pretty deep into that via people who know a lot more about that world than I do. I'm not one of those people who owns any of the Bored Apes or anything like that. So I'm kind of learning as I'm talking to these people, letting them share with me their expertise. That way I can vocalize that to the developers and then back to the community. So hopefully we can start moving forward on some stuff like that. I'm not going to give an immediacy kind of timeline, but I would love to get into NFTs. I'll put it that way.
Yes. Thank you. But I think the collab with them, like they are giving giveaways every week. So I think you can go out to the node burst so that if ever they buy some nodes, they make some giveaway because our treasury our investment there was buying some NFT, and then we have a chance giveaway from winning some Tor nodes, Stronghold, or PXT2. Maybe I say it to the Bagby family because before, but they have warned me, but I gotta trust my ball man, so I just go on Polar Bear in the first time when it was deep, and then I actually see it progressively doing well. So maybe you can ask them about buying some nodes to the Polars so that it can grow the marketing organically.
Yeah, hey, I appreciate the shout out too for our progression. We've been working hard, and it makes this community makes my job easy. I really enjoy working with you, and every day it's been pretty good through the speed bumps and otherwise. It's been an overall very positive experience. Definitely need to be reaching out to people who will increase our marketing range, like you suggested. If anybody else has any ideas, my DMs are open on Twitter and Discord. Throw some shout outs. Obviously, I'm going to vet that company. I don't want to, get us into anything we shouldn't be in necessarily, but throw some shout outs. I'll do my research there, and if it makes sense, I'll try to see if we can work together with some giveaways and partnerships and stuff like that going forward.
Yeah, that's all, man. Thank you.
All right. Hey, appreciate you. All right. Let's see. Next one's going to be the API investor. Bringing you in live here.
Hey, how's it going, Shib?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I just want to say thanks for taking some time to do this AMA. I think it's really good to help build some trust in the community. The question I did have for you was, when someone creates a new node, 20% of the tokens that are then taken, converted into AVAX and put into the treasury. If the suspected thing is that the price of Polar will go up, is it really feasible to keep it in Polar in that sense? Because if it's being transitioned into AVAX, then it's causing unnecessary sell pressure on the protocol. So is there any plans to make that change?
Yeah, so first I'll give you a shout out if you're putting up 3 plates there. So good for you on that. Hopefully the squats reflect as well. I'll throw that out. But anyway.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, but anyway here. So that treasury is something we definitely need to look into. So that sell pressure is a real thing. And the purpose of having the AVAX Polar treasury is with potential LP staking coming into play. It's going to be a Polar AVAX LP pool. That's kind of what we're working towards. So that's building that separate treasury fund for future projects coming up here within Polar. Now, that being said, we do need to mitigate that sell issue in some capacity, whether that's via different percentages, whether that's via keeping our treasury more in Polar. We kind of have to assess all that going forward. And I'm more than happy to take recommendations from the community, pass it on up, kind of talk with the other people about it and see how to mitigate that. But there's nothing more disheartening than seeing, a $2,000 buy and then $2 to $20 sales back to back on the deck screener. So I feel you there.
All right, awesome. That's it for me, man. Thanks again.
Hey, I appreciate you. All right, getting on to the next one here. Hey, we're going pretty well. We're almost an hour in. Hey, Pat DeFi, you're going to be next. Whenever you are ready, Pat DeFi, you can unmute your mic.
Hi, thank you. You're doing very good so far. I really appreciate that, AMA. You guys look very receptive. So is there a section on the Discord we can suggest some investment, or we can discuss this in that AMA, or how do we proceed with that?
Yeah, so we have treasury ideas. Excuse me. We have treasury ideas section in the Discord. It's labeled treasury ideas in there. I kind of go through that daily and put things together. You're also more than welcome to DM me directly on either Twitter or Discord, so we can kind of talk about different things, because quite frankly, we need to get some ideas implemented. And I need to mix it up between high risk, low risk. We don't have a huge treasury yet. We don't have a, $1 billion treasury like a certain company that used to have, stuff like that. So we need to be a little smart with our investments, go safe mostly, high risk a little bit, and then we can start swapping those percentages around as we grow larger and larger and have a bigger pool to play with.
Okay, and then one thing that struck me since Ring is that the number of nodes protocol popping up like every day. It's pretty crazy what's going on, and that NFT feature also, I think it looks pretty amazing. And we're looking also at others. I read white papers almost every day now, and
Yeah, me too.
yeah, it's pretty crazy, and some of them have pretty decent feature coming. Is that something you are looking at? I don't want to mention any names, but I mean, is that something I should send to you as a DM? The one I look pretty amazing, or discuss, or I just don't want to break any of your plans.
No, you're good. Hey, feel free to DM me any ideas. We are at a stage where I'm more than willing to hear people out, and quite frankly, I'm more than willing to learn from other people's successes or failures. So bring some ideas. We have a few things in our own. I mentioned them a little bit earlier, but I'll bring them up again real quick here. We have the Polar LP staking coming up here in the next few weeks. Polar staking itself. We're going to have a Polar lottery system, which more details on that, but that's going to be pretty cool to the space here. I'm currently talking with people about NFTs and or tradable nodes in the future. Tradable nodes aren't necessarily a short-term thing for us. We still need more nodes to be created. So we have no cap happening right now or in the near future. But there's a lot of things that I'm looking into. And if anybody has any ideas, throw in my DMs. If I don't get back to you immediately, I'll get back to you pretty quickly.
Awesome. Looks very promising. Thank you, sir. Have a great
day. I appreciate you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
All right, next one here is going to be the BCB founder. You're connecting in now. Okay, whenever you're ready, you can unmute your mic and you'll be live. Hey, BCB, can you hear me? I'll give you a few more seconds here to figure it out. I'd love to talk to you. You unmuted it, so I think you're here somewhere. All right, so, hey, for now, man, I'm going to remove you from the speaker. Just request it again. There might be some audio issues or something going on there, and I'll try to get to you, okay? All right, so while I'm waiting for that to happen, there's no one else requested right now. Once they come up, I'll end up taking theirs. But pretty much, for now, I just kind of want to shout out our project again. And as I was kind of asked before, how can we grow? What can the community do to help us? Pretty much what you guys have been doing. The social media interaction's great. Talk about us a little bit. If you're on our Discord, don't show projects where you shouldn't. But hey, if there's an opportunity to throw our name out there, say, hey, come read this stuff here. Link to our page, link to our manifesto, link to our Notion site. Anything there. I'd rather people want to invest with us and be comfortable investing with us than just to ape in blindly, because I think we've all done that. And we've probably lost some money. I know I have, doing that very similar thing. So just want to give a little shout out there. Let's see. Kind of going through things I may have missed that would be important for the AMA until I get another requester. And if I don't get one here in a little bit, I'm not going to sit here and talk forever. I'll end up closing it out. But hey, anyone's still more than welcome to chime in. So while we're waiting for that, I'm going to go into a little bit of the security aspect. We had, with the issues with the treasury funds and the developers holding a lot of Polar, stuff like that, what else has been done? So the addresses that hold the Polar from the developers was locked for 6 months. This was a couple weeks ago. So do some quick math. That's about July. So that Polar is locked for at least 6 months as per request of the community. We understand there was a concern via all the other previous associations and relatively, false accusations, but hey, that's for them to discuss with me if they choose to. So we have different measures in place. We're more than willing to work with you guys to continue to enhance security measures for the treasury and for the project, because we want to grow. If we grow, we all make money, and I think we're crypto to make money. So that's my 2 cents there. All right, I'm gonna bring you back in, BCB. Hey, can you hear me? Oh, he's gone again. Well, BCB, if you have a question in the future, hit me up. Next one's going to be Mike. Break the Bank 42. Whenever you're ready, you can unmute and you'll be live.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So just to correlate back to one of the other speakers, with like Node Bear NFTs, these NFT groups that are doing node giveaways, maybe we could reach out to them and see if they would, because they buy a whole bunch of nodes from all these node projects and they give them away to their users on their platform and their project.
Welcome to.
I'm wondering if that would be a way for us to get more of exposure to the marketplace out there, especially with the price that it is right now. I think that it would be a good entry point for a lot of those node giveaway NFT projects to for us to get into and maybe reach out to them. Maybe they'll be interested in having a giveaway with ours.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. So I'll reach out to them. That's a great suggestion. It increases a different audience than what we're currently working with, which I'm all for.
All right, yeah, that's all I had.
All right, hey, appreciate you guys.
Thanks.
All right, next one here. Jonas, Crypto Daddy 00. You're going to be on the mic here in a second. Hey, Jonas, whenever you're ready, you can unmute and you'll be live.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you. How you
Hey,
doing?
how's it going, man? You know, a lot of the questions I had got answered, which is great. But I just had one real quick one. And I was just wondering, in the future, on the D app in the node station, does the team ever plan on listing all the nodes we ever bought, or just keeping it at like the total number?
So I think ideally it would be a great way to be able to see every node that you have, maybe in, you know, I know a few of us might have quite a few nodes, so it'd be kind of ridiculous to have a 100 plus line there.
Yeah.
But maybe even another section of the D app where you can say, hey, my nodes, and you can go in there and maybe rename them or interact with them in some way, and maybe even claim individually in the future. You know, things like that are things we're all looking into on our end. I think that'd be a great idea. Implementation is something I'm not really a part of as far as the tech side of it, but
right.
That's something I could pass up to them and see how we can start working on all that.
Yeah, for sure. And I, you know, especially for people with like 100 plus, I don't really think that's feasible. It'd probably be really
stressful.
Yeah, super stressful. And like I, at a certain point, it probably doesn't really have much of a use. But I was just curious because I know originally when they first put out the D app, I saw like kind of like they were going to do that, but then I was just curious. But anyway, that's it for me. Thanks for everything. You know, I got in at 29 cents, which was pretty
there you go.
Pretty awesome. It was like 3 a.m. one night looking at different projects, and I was like, well, this project is pretty low on price, but they're pretty active in the community. And then, you know, it's been pretty awesome since then. So thanks again.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. If that's your NFT, it's sweet. So shout out to that.
Thanks.
All right, peace out. All right, next one here is going to be Jake. Hey, Jake, whenever you're ready, you can unmute and you'll be live. I low-key feel like a radio talk show host, so
hello,
hear me out here. Hey, Jake, what's going on?
Hey,
man?
good. Question: you mentioned about the node tiers coming live soon, and that the node that existing node is gonna be about the same cost-wise. Are the rewards gonna stay the same for this tier node, or is it gonna be changed at the time?
Yeah, so the rewards will be the same for this tier. It'll be the 55 polar to purchase it. It'll be producing 0.99 polar per day. And the tax rate is going to stay the same at 10% as well. So nothing's going to change with this node as of this point.
Okay.
As I mentioned earlier, there might be, I'll say there will be reward changes in the future to sustain, you know, the sustainability aspect of the project. That's going to be voted on by the community. It's going to be talked to accordingly by the team, and it's not in the immediate future. So we'll assess that as we go, but your node will still be what it was worth when you purchased it.
Perfect. Thank you. That's all I had. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Hey, I appreciate you.
Thanks. Bye.
All right. Let's get one more in here again. Passive Boy with another B. I'm digging the B's. A little shout out to Hive. Wish I could get a whitelist, but hey, it is what it is. Hey, Passive, whenever you're ready, you can unmute and you'll be live. Hey, Passive, can you hear me? You have to unmute your mic in the bottom left and you'll be live.
Yes, brother. What you saying?
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, bro. I just wanted to say thanks for the good work and everything you've been doing. I'm really looking
Yeah, I appreciate you guys.
for the future, see how it goes.
Cock on balls in your jaw. All right, so someone got a little bit.
Yeah, sorry about that. That's my friend. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you. It was just unexpected. I forgot.
Yeah, so it was a comment in the background. Shout out to your friend. But I appreciate you guys.
All right, man. Thank you. Thank you for everything.
All right, hey.
Take care.
No worries. Peace out, man. All right, so I guess if you have kids, cover the ears. I guess we're now a PG-13 podcast here. So, hey, it is what it is there. Everyone here in the community has been great. I'm still willing to hang out here for as long as I need to, take any questions. If anybody even has a comment, question, just want to say hi, chill for a little bit, vibe, just shout out here and I'll get you in. I've been having a ton of notifications, so if I miss people DMing me with suggestions about the AMA, I apologize. If you're in here, you can just shout me out and I'll answer it live. Here we go. Ooh, the Raccoon Jack. You're going to be coming in, Raccoon. All right, whenever you're ready, you can unmute your speaker and you'll be live. If you'd like to be anyway. Hey, Raccoon Jack, whenever you're ready, you can unmute your speaker, bottom left, and then you'll be live.
Hello.
Hey, there you go. How's it going, man? Oh, popping in, popping out. Hey, I see someone who I know requesting. I'm gonna get to you here in a minute. Hey, Raccoon, I want to give you an opportunity to talk if you'd like to, but if you're still muted, I'll have to move on. You can come back in a minute. Is that all right? All right. Well, still love you, fam. I'll take your question here in a minute. All right, Greg, you're going to be next here. All right, Greg, whenever you're ready, you can unmute your mic and you'll be live.
Hey, man, thanks. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How you doing?
Awesome. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. This job's a little better than my other job, so.
There you go. Yeah, quick question. What are we doing to kind of fight sell pressure? It kind of seems like we've kind of hit like this resistance wall around $2 to $3. Maybe we have little spikes, but they're short-lived. So I'm just kind of curious what the plan is for sell pressure.
Yeah, so the biggest thing that we can do in the short term is to get more people to be purchasing nodes. So this organic growth mechanism is going to be multifaceted. It's involving me doing these AMAs. It's involving, social media outreach. But the big thing is going to be with this new contract. I've had several people that I've talked to that were willing and still are willing to drop big dollar amounts into Polar, but it ends up becoming a flip project for them until they can node $20,000 or $30,000 worth of Polar at one time. Imagine trying to do that one node by one node by one node, and that they're just not going to do it, to be perfectly honest. So that's going to be a big thing. We need to be able to incentivize people to create nodes on a higher level. And then we're also developing ways, the compounding aspect, so you can avoid the claims tax. That will incentivize people to hold on to their claims, compound into a new node. They'll be able to upgrade through the different tiers and nodes as they go. So a lot of that stuff's in the works. As I've kind of mentioned this whole time, words mean nothing. We need to start getting this stuff live, and we need to start making some real progress. And it's all on the basis of real growth. I don't care to be a hype coin. I want us to grow naturally and organically and become an actual sustainable project.
Awesome. Yeah. And I had one more question. For when we're compounding into the new nodes, will we only be able to do it in the tier that we're in, or will we be able to do it into the next higher tier also?
So as far as I'm aware, everything that I've been told, you'll be able to compound between tiers. So the way the contract was written, I'll use Thor as an example because I was in it when you weren't able to initially compound through each of them. It's just a difference of how the contract is built. And now the way we're doing it is you'll be able to compound with your rewards into whatever tier that you can effectively get into.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, man. That's all I got.
Yeah, no problem. Hey, appreciate you.
Have a good one.
Now, this is the moment that I have all been waiting for. Hey, 3, you're about to be live. Whenever you're ready, fam, you can unmute.
Open by
Hey, how's it going?
to say that I appreciate your Emma. It's really cool to see the community coming together. I wish I could be more present in the community lately, but I can't. I'm just really appreciating what's going on. And as some already said, I'm also interested in seeing more of the development on our investments. That's a thing that I've been pushing, and I want the community to be part of it. So I want to encourage everybody that are invested and have ideas to really like put your ideas to work in a sense that you would really describe it. Just describe well what we think would be a good investment, why it's a good investment, what are the dangers, what are the returns, how can we use, what time frame are you thinking about investments. This is going to help the project to grow. Because just saying, oh, I have an idea of an investment and you put like a link, it's okay, it's a way to help. But if you really are invested in Polar and you want to be a part of a Dano, you need to also work a little bit. So I just want to also incentivize everybody to participate in this sense.
Hey, yeah, I agree on that. Transparency, as I kind of mentioned earlier, either a live tracker or a monthly treasury report for the investments, that's going to be huge. That's a great idea. Also, just shout out to you and Tar, because quite frankly, without you guys working as hard as you did in the early stages, we probably would not be at this point right now. So very open shout out to you guys. Your private conversations that I've had with you are incredible, and they're going to help us move forward. So whenever you want to be a part of things more, you are definitely more than welcome to.
Cool, man. I'll be always checking, but yeah, when I have more time.
You in there occasionally.
When I have more time, I'll go back. But yeah, that's only it. I'm just happy that this is happening and it's moving forward. Thank you, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate you. All right, there we go. Now we got a little bundle of requesters. CP360G, you're going to be coming in next with another sweet NFT. Whenever you're ready, you can unmute the bottom left and you'll be live.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you. How you
I'm
doing?
doing great, thank you. So I love the project, first thing. I just want to maybe comment that on the Twitter updates, and again, it would be like me speaking in a foreign language, but if somebody could just check those, make sure that they're, grammatically accurate, I think that would really help the token in general. And that's basically all I had to say. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Hey, I appreciate you. So to go into that a little bit, we have some great people working on the social media that understand the intricacies of social media and how it reacts to the people who might be an outreach to it. But we have had very clear and maybe somewhat difficult discussions where bringing on somebody like me who might be a little bit better on the grammatical side of it and can articulate those posts a little bit better. Hey, just reach out to me, their idea, their post, but we need to make it look right. There's nothing I hate more than us having to delete a tweet because of a grammatical error or misinformation or something like that, just based off of communication. So if we cannot communicate well, this project is not going to go anywhere. I'm clear on that. The developers are clear on that, and we're going to move forward strongly to limit those issues.
Oh, and I totally agree. It would just be something I think that would help the community in general. Thank you.
Hey, I appreciate you. Sweet cat too. All right, here we go. Here's another homie that's reached out to me in the DMs. Haven't gotten your question yet from the DM, so I'll give you the opportunity to ask here. USMC Spartan. So before he even gets on you, I'm going to say Semper Fi and shout out to the Marine Corps as well as the other branches here. I know on the team we got a few, either USNAVI, which is the U.S. Navy, or other branches. And then whenever you're ready, you can unmute bottom left and you'll be live.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you talking with me? My wife just had jumped in there.
Yeah, you're good. Hey, how's it going, man?
Good. How you doing? Yeah, I'm Bad News Bears on your Discord there, or Coca-Cola Bear now.
Yeah, Coca-Cola Bear.
But I wasn't sure. You might have already addressed my question, but it was about the V2 contract that's launching shortly. And I was just curious with what kind of the issues and the different problems that have happened, with the V1 from technical to technical difficulties to obviously people trying to slander Polar. And, how long do you expect this V2 rollout to take? Just because I know there's been issues in the past with other companies projects to try and launch V2 successfully just because there's so much work on the back end, I'm guessing.
Yeah, so that's a tremendous back-end effort. Our tech guys are hard at work on that. So as we saw with the D app, we kind of popped it out there and it was pretty buggy. I'm not going to front about that. It wasn't a great introductionary period. So to mitigate that, we plan on bringing it with multiple live tests on our own side. Say, hey, let's try to overwhelm the system. Let's try to open it up, have multiple people scan through it. See, hey, what are the issues? Does everything populate as it should? Does it go live as it should? Because this contract's a little bit bigger. This is the thing that's going to allow us to get into the staking aspect, the multi-node creation, to the tiers. We pretty much had to do this to bring us to the next step of Polar. So it needs to be clean. It needs to be good. If there are any hiccups in the launch, I have a lot of faith in our tech team. And direct shout out to Salty. He's in our Discord as often as he can, trying to answer questions. But that dude with the D app, he was up probably till 4 or 5 a.m. trying to straighten it out just on his own end. So shout out to the tech guys. They're going to be working hard on them. A lot of it will be communicated through me, hopefully, or likely, so we can start implementing it to the community as needed. But we expect it to be coming out here in the very near future.
That's awesome. It sounds very innovative and creative with it. I like that. And then with that last part of the question would be, do you, for the current contract that we're under, will there be an airdrop to receive a new token per se, or are we sticking with the same token, new contract, so we don't have to, expect a whole airdrop or anything? That's what Project X had done, and there's nothing wrong with that. So people were complaining about how much time it was taking, but they just need to be patient, obviously.
Yeah, so right now we plan on sticking with the same token, and we had discussions about that a couple weeks ago where they were considering, hey, we might have to move to a new token, but it looks like that they've resolved that, and that the current plan right now is stick with the same Polar token that we're using, which is great because it shortens that period of time for Trader Joe to whitelist us and all that good stuff. Now, the one thing I do want to say very directly, we're going to give about 48 hours notice and multiple notifications prior to that new contract launching. You will have to claim the rewards, the pending rewards from the D app prior to that launching. And as of right now, once that new contract goes live, you cannot claim the rewards from there. We're going to give ample notice. I'm going to advise people not wait till the last 5 minutes and try to get in because life happens, and then I don't want them to miss it out. So I'm going to be very direct, very clear on that. We're going to shout out multiple times. That's the biggest thing with the new contract. Hey, get your claims in before, even if you just do it, 1 day before, and then hopefully you can do it right before again. But I don't want people losing out on rewards. That's nothing we want to have to deal with here.
100%. I like that. That's very clear as well, and I'll share that as well. And then so from there, once V2s roll it out and everything's rolling well, then we'll be able to claim again, just how we can now. Correct?
That is correct. Everything will be just as it is now. You can claim after 4 hours of your first.
Well, that sounds great. Well, I appreciate you answering my questions and being direct and hosting the same AMA. Big shout out to you and the whole team. I appreciate everything you guys are doing and working on.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. Semper Fi.
Thank you, sir. Semper Fi.
I assume he was part of the Marine Corps with all that names. So hopefully he is. If not, hey, Semper Fi anyway. Always faithful for those who don't know. I'll Semper Fi for Polar right now. Always faithful here. Next person is going to be Happy Crypto. Better than sad crypto for some days, but I think we're in a good mood right now. We're all happy here. Surprisingly, not a whole lot of, angry people yet. I guess that's okay. Hey, Happy, whenever you're ready, you can unmute bottom left, and you'll be live.
Hey, shit. It's more of a shout out than a question. So I really want to shout out for your patience and answering all my silly questions on our Discord. So really appreciate your effort and your team's effort in making this project keep going. So it's really want to shout out everyone.
Hey, we appreciate you, and I know that Discord gets a little heated sometimes with people popping in there, but I'm pretty good. We relay the same message to the team, like, hey, positivity beats everything. So down times be positive, up times be positive. We have the foundation set. The community is literally what runs this project. We are all here for you guys. So shout out to you, shout out to everyone else that's active in that Discord. And if you are not active in that Discord, come join our Discord. We're in there all the time. So
yeah. Thanks everyone.
Hey, appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
And I see Tarkle still DMing me right now. I guess he wasn't here earlier when I shouted him out directly. So I'm gonna give him another shout out. Shout out to Tarkle for, again, running the Discord with an iron fist, even though many of us may have almost gotten banned early on, but hey, here we all now, vibing, working hard. So shout out to you. Hey, man, if you want to talk, we're here. We're here for you, always. And I apologize, I don't have an accent. Hey, Ronan the Dude, you're coming up next. Whenever you're ready, you can unmute bottom left. Yeah, no worries.
Doing great. Like this AMA so far, but with the new rollout, we're going to be able to compound nodes, right? And just create right off the site. So that had me thinking a little bit where we're going to be minting Polar very rapidly. And would this deflate the price of Polar? And if so, a way to offset that would be if you guys created a deflationary token that's pegged to the dollar, kind of like stablecoin, and you could use that for buyback and burns to stabilize price when sell pressure increases. Also, that would combat dilution if we're going to be minting Polar like crazy. I don't know what the current numbers are looking like, how much Polar is being minted right now, but we did have discussion before on reducing rewards, and I believe that with the bonding and staking coming, there would be a way to utilize a new coin, if you guys created it, to do buyback and burns and ultimately stabilize price. I've seen other projects do this with almost immediate results.
Yeah, so that is a great point. So we do currently have a buyback implemented with our treasury. So our treasury holds, I believe the numbers as of this morning was 31,000 Polar, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere between 25 and 31,000. So we have the ability to burn Polar as we move forward. That's not always the best solution necessarily at this stage of the project, but we have the ability to there. Now, what you're mentioning there, creating some sort of a stable coin aspect to it and then utilizing that as a almost a deflationary token will be likely something that I've maybe already talked to some people about and that I would like to see implemented in the future, because last thing you need is to have that issue, which I guess I don't really want to throw names out. A big major project with $1 billion treasury that just blew up recently. That's part of the issue there. You offer crazy high ROIs. It's hard to keep up with things. Once that floor starts to go out, it just falls. It falls out completely. So we need to prevent that from happening. And I like the suggestion. So DM me with any information that you might have, some other projects that I can look into that have implemented it. I'll be more happy to look into it very detailed, and I can talk about it.
I have the project that is making it actually work. The project that you're speaking of, I believe we all know it. That was a big drama thing, but dilution is what killed it.
There too, so.
Yeah, dilution is what killed it. You're absolutely right. So the problem is buying out of the treasury is not an ideal situation because that's just flat out money lost. With staking and bonding, if we can figure out a way to use a new token that's owned by Polar and only by Polar, it can be staked or bonded and gain interest on it. That way, you're kind of using rewards on a stable coin to do the burns rather than profits in the treasury that could be used for other investments. That's the only reason I bring it up.
Yeah, hey, I agree with you there. If you don't mind, could you DM me either some sort of information about that project so I could look into it a little bit?
I will.
Hey, I appreciate you. Anything else I can help you with for now?
No, that's all I got. Thank you.
Hey, yep, thank you. Great input there. All right. So Happy, you've already had one. I'm gonna give you a second one here in a second, but I'm gonna bring in. I don't want to mispronounce your name, so I'm just gonna bring you in. Oh, and he's gone. So Happy, good news. You're back up.
Sorry.
Hey, welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back. I got a quick question. Around, I know we got a pretty strong dev team who's working around the clock to give us quality, apps for us to actually, do the noding and everything. So how about the QA process? Like, how we do we have a dedicated testing team, or like before we release to the public and those sort of things? I just want to understand how we do the things around testing or QA part.
So you're asking like testing the contract and the DApps and all that before it goes live?
Yes.
Or just
yes,
all the...
Yes, exactly. Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so part of one of our tech guys by the name of Frey in Discord, he's not super active in the general chat anymore, but we talk on our little private channels there. He does a lot of the back end stuff of that. He works very hard with a team of people with him. Salty's pretty much, so he's the main developer, him and Unor. So Salty is he's a very good tech person with this industry. So he kind of implements all that. Now we saw with the DApp, it wasn't a great initial observation. I don't think any of us can pretend like it was. It was very buggy. Things didn't work well. It had to come down, come back up. So we are aware that cannot keep happening. And that cannot happen with the new contract. It's too big. It's too much that we're working for our marketing and for that to fall flat on its face. Could there be a little issue, some issues that are discovered later on? Of course. I mean, multi-billion-dollar companies, Apple, stuff like that, they have some bugs that come out. You resolve them, you move forward. But the new contract needs to be functional once it's released to the public. My biggest thing that I've been pushing to the tech team, do not even hint that it's going to be released until you know it's good to be released. Because I don't want anything to happen to which you say, hey, it's going to be out on this day. That day shows up, and then we're forced to put out something that we might not be ready to put out.
Yeah, very true, very true. I totally, on the point that you made, like, if we get into a situation where we have to make a quick hotfix for something that we don't want to patch up, then probably it will cause the all project impact. That's what my actually 1 cent. I wanted to add that yes, it's really really important for us to actually to release to live only when we have the 100% confidence. I know there will be bugs that gets into the production as well, in the live environment as well, every now and then. But it's really really important. We should, going forward, it's we should have a thorough testing or quality assurance process in place, just so it will largely impact the pricing and everything if something goes wrong. So that's a point I want to make. But thanks for answering.
Hey, I agree with you, and I appreciate your input there. All right. Hey, quick shout out to Crypto Drive 21, Jen, because you're in here now. I see you. So you won my contest earlier, 55 Polar. So either you can send me a DM while we're here, or I'll hit you up here once I'm done, and I'll hook you up there. If you want to, get on the mic, you're more than welcome to, but I'm not going to make you. So. And if Corey DGAF Taylor, if you are anywhere on here, you won 2 AVAX too. So you're more than welcome to come in, give a little shout out, and move on forward. Oops, I tried to invite you, but I don't know if you pulled it. I'm not going to make you. If you'd like to talk, you're more than welcome to, but if not, I'm not going to make you. Anybody else have any burning questions on their mind? As we're kind of waiting for that, I just want to give a little bit of direction of how I want to do AMAs. Hey, send me suggestions. Send me direct messages. Hey, this style is a little off. This might not work. Try this, blah, blah, blah. Anything. I'm more than happy to listen. I don't have a big ego. I'm cool with just hearing out people, playing with my style. Ultimately, I love these. I like doing AMAs because I can answer some of these questions directly, and it takes the tone aspect into it. So you can see I'm pretty calm. I'm pretty, just go with the flow kind of person. Ultimately, in the future, I'd love for these to be, like literally just a vibe session. I'll just pop up an AMA randomly. We can talk a bit. We can answer questions. We can just talk about this project, other projects, anything like that. And we'll kind of go from there. I'd like this to be a real community effort. I love kind of the podcast, long form discussion vibe. I hate I see projects who ran AMAs, they have a purpose too. They're great. I would love to talk. I'd love to answer follow-ups, kind of piece everything together from there. So any suggestions, hit me up. These are going to be more regular, so there'll be plenty of opportunity to talk. And I filibustered enough that I have another question. So tweet. I can barely read, but you can talk, so I'm going to bring you in here. That's a shout out to his handle, by the way. Whenever you're ready, tweet. You can unmute yourself, bottom left, and you'll be live.
Yo, how's it going? Thank you guys, man. I just want to shout out all your hard work first.
Hey, I appreciate you.
My first question is, did you guys end up giving any sneak peek to the size of the nodes or what they're going to cost or anything like that?
So we haven't yet, but we are going to. Perhaps maybe a little giveaway contest where we kind of blur out some things and allow people to guess. That might be something that we could look into here coming up. I've given more information than was currently released here today, to which it is not going to be, it's going to be not 1, 2, or 3 tiers. I'll put it that way. So there'll be some opportunity for people to guess on some things, and I love doing giveaways. So.
Okay, awesome. And then I have a second question. Have you guys ever considered doing a sale tax instead of the claim tax to kind of get a reward off of some of the swing trading? I know we haven't seen as much lately, but I know in the beginning 10 days or so we saw quite a bit.
Yeah, so that's a great question. I'm glad you brought that up. It's something I wanted to bring up here on the chat. So sales tax. There is a reason that most node projects do not have a sales tax, and it all is based off of a central exchange listing in the future, as well as just the general idea of what node projects go to. Now you could say, hey, is Polar really that close to a central exchange listing? I can't say yes or no. We see some of these big projects that are not out there. I'll shout out Strong. They've been around the game. They're pretty much leading the industry, and they're on ETH, and they're not on, they might be on KuCoin. But nevertheless, it's not a super common thing right now. So that's kind of the biggest argument that I have against a sales tax. Now, how can I combat that to what you're saying? How can we help limit that of swing trading? The best way is to create more incentive for them to node up. If they get nodes and it benefits them more than swing trading benefits them, then they will get nodes. Now, right now, without them being able to create multiple nodes at once, without the different tiers, a lot of people are just swing trading. And quite frankly, I get it. And they want to, oftentimes they are just increasing their amount of Polar. And very likely they're going to put it into nodes or some aspect in the future. Maybe they don't, maybe they do. Those are things that I need us to address, but I'm keenly aware of it. Right now, a claim tax is good. We might need to look into, maintenance fees or different structures of claim tax. I've even looked into a tiered kind of claim tax. So let's just say a hypothetical, someone shouted this out, and the idea is your first week of the node, it is a 30% claim tax. Don't take any of these numbers for what they are. I'm just throwing numbers out there. 14 days, it lowers down to 15%. 30 days, it lowers down to 10%. And then at the time of ROT, the return on tokens, which is about 55 days for our current node or your basic ROI, it turns to 1%. So that gives people an incentive to hold on to their claims without selling their Polar every day. And then once they hit that 1%, then they have a decision to make. Am I going to compound into a new node right away? Or am I going to just take my 1% tax and carry on with the sale? So that'll allow that sell pressure to be mitigated on multiple levels and kind of hopefully distribute it a little bit more. I don't fully say no to sales tax yet. I would rather not go that route currently.
Totally, and I appreciate the very in-depth response. And I'm not against swing trading. I just feel that it came from a place that. So I've been trying to analyze what makes Strong so much different. Like in the beginning, they didn't have all the utility functions they have. And the Ethereum network really limits your ability to claim because gas just destroys you as a small investor. Mm-hmm. So putting that little level of limitation will stop those claims every 4 hours and 5 minutes, which does lead to steady sell pressure, I feel, which it's just more in the game theory when you're on Ethereum, when and how you claim. That layer isn't on AVAX currently. You kind of have to code it in.
Yeah, and I do agree on that. I've even talked to people about how much I want to put out on this. So some of these people that I've talked to in reference to NFTs and different structure and different kind of associated coins, I've looked more into the Ethereum network, even though I'd rather us stay on the AVAX network, maybe the Phantom network at some point, because I like the size of the Ethereum network, and I like the potential in the future. Gas prices are a thing. There's positives and negatives to that, but Ethereum itself, as we all kind of know, is a deflationary token. It's going to continuously be burned. So I've looked into that stuff for the future purposes. I can't really go too much into what might be happening in the near term, but we're going to build on AVAX, and then I'm more than willing to kind of branch out as needed.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the in-depth answering to the questions, and that's all I have for now.
Hey, I appreciate you. All right, so what time did I start this? 3:30, 4:30. So it's been a little over an hour and a half. We answered a lot here. I'm not really on a time constraint. I've got plenty of time here. So if anybody still wants to key up, I could filibuster here just for a little bit longer, and then I might come to a close here. Again, I want to give the ability. My DMs are open on Twitter, on Discord. Join our Discord. Follow me on Twitter. Ask your questions. Post, publicly. DM me privately. I read them, and quite frankly, some of it is stuff that can be answered in the general Discord, but I'll still try to answer you there. Just know that I'm often working on many of things for the project as well as other things in my life, but I'll get to you and each and every one of you there. Also, I mean, I've had some of our team members hit me up on this AMA talking about wanting to join. You guys can just press request and you'll join me here. But in the future, we're probably gonna have some. Sorry about that, I clear my throat. We're probably gonna have some like joint AMAs that I'm gonna start working on.